Greetings. I'm Thomas Caldwell of the Aurelian Column, and this is the Book Report. Historical novels are one of my favorite things in this world. Of course, they have to be accurate. They have to be based on something that's real, but they also have to be believable and at the same time entertaining. Nothing's worse than a novel that is so heaped up with facts and details and this and that it's unreadable. It's an art form that I enjoy, and I think it's one of the best ways to learn history. Now, I've done reports in the past about historical novels, but this is the one that really got me turned on to the art form. And it came out in 1984 by a very profound American writer named Gore Vidal, and it's called Lincoln, a novel. As you might guess from the title, it's a book about Abraham Lincoln. It's a historical novel that paints him as a very human, very believable, and very interesting and entertaining character. It's part of the Narratives of Empire series that Mr. Vidal started back in the 1970s with a novel called Burr, which is about Aaron Burr, and he continued on with many other novels until his passing. This is the second in the series, and if you ask me, it's the best. It just sings the way it explains things from the time. Now, the book starts in February of 1861 as Abraham Lincoln is passing through Baltimore on his way into Washington, D.C., and trying to avoid an assassination attempt. The biggest thing about this book is the dialogue between Lincoln, his assistants, his family members, the people he's working with, the people he meets on the street, and also those in the background. The book, of course, continues on through his presidency, the death of his son in the White House, on to the Civil War, the speech at Gettysburg, which Mr. Vidal was able to find a slightly different version, which he claimed he got out of newspaper accounts at the time. It's an interesting comparison. The book, of course, concludes with Abraham Lincoln and his assassination in April of 1865. But this is a very thick book, very detailed in the way it describes things. You feel that you're there. But it paints a very human picture of a time in American history most people look up to as something out of a painting or something out of a drama or something out of a cold, unfeeling, unliving marble statue. It's one of my favorite books about that time in American history, and anybody who wants to learn about American history during the American Civil War, this is the book to go to get a real feel for it and an understanding of the politics at the time. We just came up on the 160th anniversary of the end of the American Civil War, which is a conflict that very few Americans really do understand. This would be a good way to familiarize yourself with your history and the culture that has resulted. The book came out in 1984. It is currently available through a publishing house called First Vintage International, and it's been in print since 2000. It's also available on Kindle, and an unabridged version is available on Audible. I've not heard the Audible edition, but I know some people that have told me about it, and they said it's pretty good. I've read the book a couple of times already. I don't think I'll be reading it again anytime soon, but I do plan to revisit it at some point in the future. In the meantime, if you haven't read Lincoln or any other of Gore Vidal's books about history or his other works, I would definitely check them out. This is a good reading for the summer, and it's a good reading for history. And if you know a high school student that is having trouble dealing with American history or Lincoln being something up on the wall that you don't really relate to, this is a good book for him. Again, the book is Lincoln by Gore Vidal, originally published in 1984, still in print. The current paperback edition is First Vintage International, that came out in February of 2000. It's also available on Kindle and Audible. That's it for today. If you appreciate my work, please like, subscribe, and share. Share with your friends and share with your enemies. Hopefully, they'll become friends. I can be reached at feedback@aureliancolumn.com. That's feedback@aureliancolumn.com. I'm up on X. My handle there is MICCAMPEN. That's MICCAMPEN. This podcast originates at Substack. My address there is aureliancolumn.substack.com. Until we meet again, be good, be safe, be vigilant, and remember, keep reading and never judge a book by its movie. Good day.